Hello, Sawadee Cup. Greeting and salutations. 3 months ago, we started our Capstone class and we made videos to try to get an understanding of what we had hoped to achieve over the course of time. So, here's my final presentation for the Senior Capstone. Of course, my name is Richard Anderson. The first subject that we addressed was emotional intelligent leadership. I actually gained a fair amount of information from this and thought it was great to have a better understanding, a more empathetic understanding when communicating with people and, applying those listening skills. The criteria was straightforward. The metrics, of course, were also pretty straightforward. They included concepts that were great for different scenarios that you run across in life, and there are many levels of interactions. These empathetic traits become great tools for dealing with people amicably. I've actually applied them, so they work. Some of them. Environmental awareness. What's going on around you? Do you make people comfortable? Is the environment comfortable? Like sometimes it could be a stressful environment. Group savvy. How well do you work with groups? Are you interactive? Do you understand that everybody can be part of a team? Consciousness of self. Probably a very important one with this course is with Brené Brown stuff is we learn that vulnerability is okay. It's to be conscious of it is a good thing because then you can work on it and then you can understand it's you. Healthy self-esteem, that's always a given in any situation. Emotional self-control, I found being much older that this one kind of comes with age. When you're young you tend to have a little bit more of a attitude than when you're older. You have a little bit more patience. Authenticity, I think that's very important. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. Sometimes if you're authentic, people may not like your personality. If you're honest, sometimes tact is important. Achievement, always have goals. Optimism, which I think is obviously very important. Better to be optimistic than pessimistic. Situation's good. Empathy, citizenship, inspiration, influence. Some of the videos actually spoke to me quite a lot, actually. They made me think, hey, I like these ideas. These are things that I can understand. They spoke truths to me, and I had gained some insight, even a small epiphany at some point. Conflict management, of course, is also important too, and how we deal with conflict. It doesn't always have to be confrontational. It's important that everybody feels happy with what they're getting out of it. Even if you can't always win, you can try to make sure that everybody wins in a fair amount of sense, that somebody's not losing so much that they hate the winner. We also delved into the subject of vulnerability again with Brené Brown. The reason why I come back to the subject is I thought that it was important that we do understand that we have vulnerabilities, but they're not always these horrible things that we think they are, because we tend to be biased in how we view ourselves. We tend to be a little bit more critical. So it's important that the information that she provided was to say it's okay to be critical, but just understand you are you and it's okay. I really enjoyed the Myers-Briggs profile. That stuff was great, and how people interacted. I've done this a number of times, and it's weird how it never changes. And I even did this with a number of my friends to see if I could kind of guess what their profiles were, and they were kind of close, which was great. I thought it was important that no one personality type is the best. A good leader recognizes the strengths of each personality type and how they interact with others. My INTJ profile had a number of correct behaviors that I understood and related to. Just like my archetype of rationalist, it fits who I am as a person. These concepts have withstood the test of time and were developed from Carl Jung's work on behavioral studies. And Carl Jung, good stuff. Alright, my mission statement involves goals that centered around my family and successful development on a project that I've been working on for a long time. The material we have learned was useful for having better relationships with people who are important to me. I applied listening skills in a number of interactions and found that it puts people at ease. I found that it was important to watch people's nonverbal cues and react accordingly, showing a sense of understanding to what a person was saying. It was really interesting when you actively apply what we've learned. People react really differently. You don't need to give them advice. You just need to understand what they're saying and try to empathize with them. Not, hey, here's an answer. Hey, I understand what you're going through. You can tell me it's okay, and I will listen to you. I found that worked quite well. My vision statement also follows along the same ideas. I'm trying to work on my communication skills with people. I think that could use some work. I recognize this is a vulnerability in the beginning of the year, and I have been, so work in progress. I know it's important to have hopes, dreams, and desire. Human desire at its core is what we want. We want to be listened to. We want others to believe in us. We want to be part of a society and all its benefits. No one wants to be in a box, especially one they do not know how to get out of. And I kind of felt that way after reading the Arbinger stuff about being in the box. I'm like, that really actually kind of makes sense. So I don't 100% agree with it on the sacrificial part, but I'm coming more towards that direction than going the other direction. So, and finally, my action plan. It's quite simple to sum it up. Apply good listening skills, because that's gold right there. Apply my degree for betterment of those who count the most in my life. All this school, I'd really like to make my life better, those around me's lives better, and just generally be a good person. Understanding myself. I think the great part about education is we learn to codify what we're feeling, what we're thinking, and how to think in a great manner. I would say linear, but that's not necessarily how we think. We have an education. We tend to see more variables, I guess we can say. Thank you for listening, and that is my senior capstone, and you have a wonderful day.